Yeah, so essentially, after working in LA for a number of years, I found myself working at a church down in Orange County, and scrambling one Easter to try to get a testimony together for a testimony video to play one Easter. A friend of mine offered to share her testimony, and so I was the video producer. So we filmed her testimony, and basically what came out was this story that I had no idea that this was her journey and never would have known. But basically, her mom was an alcoholic as she was growing up. And so she had to raise her little brother. They were a very wealthy family. Her mom was a functioning alcoholic who made very good money, worked a very nice job. But she's like, as a kid, I'd have to wake my passed out mom up to take me and my brother to school or to get to work. Years later, her mom, becomes a Christian, gets clean, becomes an executive pastor at the church. And so she says, here I was, this kid basically raising my little brother, waking up my mom. And then all of a sudden she becomes a Christian and an executive pastor at the church. And everybody's praising her for being this amazing conversion story, while no one is acknowledging my pain, that I was the one that had to be the parent in the room. I had to do these things. And so she's like, essentially, I felt like God didn't see me. I felt like the church didn't see me. And so I did everything I could to push all of them away. Went off to college, up in San Francisco. She said it got so bad that it was to a point where she's like, I thought I would never talk to my mom again. She's like, while in college, was straight A student, but got into the drug and party scene, started selling cocaine, which was just wild, as she just would do that to make extra money. And she's like, I would do it every once in a while, but I wasn't an addictive personality. So that's what made me a good seller. And basically that's kind of our story is something happens in our film that forces her to reconnect to her mom. And then these triggers start happening in her life. She's finding that she's medicating with partying, she's medicating with drugs, and those aren't working anymore. And so all throughout our film, we're kind of following her. It's kind of a day in the life of film. We're kind of following her in the mundaneness of her life as these things are triggering these flashbacks that she can't hide from anymore. And so ultimately, her mom invites her on a trip to Sri Lanka at the end of the year as kind of this church trip that she gets to go on for free. And she's like, for some reason, I had kind of hit a rock bottom and decided to go, and basically has an experience there that could possibly change her life. The movie kind of leaves it open-ended. But the whole goal is, when I heard that story, I was like, I felt like it was so relatable for not just pastors' kids, but for anyone who has seen hypocrisy in the church, anyone who has experienced, hurt from Christians in one way or another. There's, the whole thing that was going on even a few years when we were filming it was the In Church 2 movement, where you're finding abuse that has happened within the church is starting to come out. And so this was a film that I felt like, or a story that I felt like everyone could see themselves in some way. And the goal was, when we made it,